Okay, now, so we just finished the pedestrian crossings use of signals. How'd it feel?
Yeah, not too bad. I think I kept forgetting about the signals.
Yeah, you kind of poo-pooed the signals at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you were kind of telling me, sort of, I'm doing signals, I'm doing pedestrians, yeah?
Yeah.
It's two subjects and you have to cover both of them,
Yeah.
And I gave you a good opportunity. I actually picked an area where you could actually use the hand signals. And you didn't really want to take advantage of that. Yeah? But, you know, he's either going to play this one or two ways. He's either going to ask you to teach him signals by arm only.
Oh, right.
Yeah? And then you will talk about them on the brief, if it's phase one. Yeah? Or he may ask you to teach him signals by indicator and by arm. Yeah?
Right.
Which should I ask you? At the beginning?
You asked me both.
Yeah,
didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, you can't just not do it. Yeah? You needed to control it. Obviously the subject was signals and pedestrian crossings. There was no pedestrian crossings in that area there, so you had a bit of time to actually talk me through the signals, but you were sitting back and let me get too close to the junction. And you should have been telling me when to put my arm out the window.
Yeah.
And it's very important to watch me. The first two or three that I'd done, I had both hands off the wheel there.
Yeah.
I know you on the brief, you did mention, and I must keep two hands on the wheel, but I have told you before what you tell me on the brief. I'll remember the bits that I want to, and forget the bits that I don't want to. And I certainly will do the bits that you miss out on the brief, yeah? So do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I started to use the signals unnecessarily, the ground park cars, you handled that quite well. And I did give you a couple of lifelines on the indicators, but I wasn't too sure about when to put them on, and that was basically because you just didn't give enough instruction on them, really. Right. Moving on to pedestrians and pedestrian crossings, you handle that bit very well. Oh, right. Apart from the zebra, you kept saying to me, don't overreact. Yeah, and with some of them zebra crossings, I thought you were overreacting a bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at a zebra crossing, and I can see it's clear both sides, well in advance, I don't really want to be lifting off the gas, covering my brake, do I?
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it's a light control crossing. If there's no pedestrians in the vicinity, then it's just a normal piece of road, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought you handled the pedestrian side really, really well. I say I don't know why you skimped on the signals.
No.
Have you any idea?
No.
Yeah.
Just got bogged down with other things, with the pedestrians and looking for crossings, and forgot the signals basically. Yeah,
I mean we had a. I'm not saying the arm signals are going to come in straight away. It depends on what kind of area. And whether this be phase 1 or phase 2. If it's phase 1, it's going to start at the test centre car park, so you might not have a chance to do them straight away. But an opportunity will arise, or present itself. And don't forget you are meant to be doing them, so you will have to introduce them at some stage, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But that was a good opportunity at the start, and I gave you a lifeline and said, good place to practice signals here, isn't it? Yeah. So it's just a matter of just getting the timing right. Yeah, you've got to obviously give me a little bit of an encouragement about when to put the indicator on, and that will then give me time to get my hand out the window. Yeah. And just make sure you repeat to me before I put my hand out the window. Keep my left hand on the wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of watching me. Yeah. So on the signal side, a bit weak. Pedestrian crossing side, pretty strong.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But don't forget the signals, yeah?
Yeah.
It's two subjects, and you can't just push it to one side, yeah?
No.
So, have you never taught arm signals before then, on your training?
No, not really. I mean, we always did it in the brief, and was told if it was used, it would be you could demonstrate it at the briefing, but then wasn't really used after that.
Yeah, it depends on the way the examiner plays it. If it's peeing down at rain, he doesn't want to get wet. He's probably going to say to you, "Just teach me indicators by arm." Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If it's phase 1, obviously you talk about them on the brief, but he's asked you to teach him signals by indicators only. Therefore,
so it's that thing with listening, isn't it? It's that, listening to what he tells me.
Yeah, I would get one right hand turn in, at least, and one left hand turn in, and maybe a stop on the left. Yeah. Yeah. So I get a chance to put them into action. Yeah.
Yeah, so you use the slowing down signal then as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I say the pedestrian side was absolutely excellent.
Oh,
there was a lot happening in there. It was very busy in there. Nearly every crossing we were approaching, there was pedestrians milling around in between them. Just on that last occasion there, I felt you were a little bit late where you were, and that was probably the closest that we've actually come across a pedestrian hanging off the pavement.
Yeah.
And you kind of let me get past it.
Definitely react to something like that.
Yeah, just tell me a bit earlier. See that pedestrian walking very close to the edge of the pavement. Check your mirror. Off your gas. Cover the brake. Yeah, because it's phase 1, so you're telling me what to do. Yeah, and then give me the reasons why.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I've never dealt with this kind of situation before, I wouldn't even know it's a pedestrian hanging off the pavement. Hard subject, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But this is the one I know that they're very hot on.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
So that lack of control with the signals would have caused a fail in that instance, because I didn't teach it basically.
No, I wouldn't have said it. It certainly would have knocked you down to a 4. But the SE is allowed to give you lifelines.
Well, thinking back now, you gave me the lifelines and I didn't take them.
Well, you did eventually, and then I gave you another lifeline that, as we got into the pedestrian crossings, that I wasn't too sure about when to signal. And that was just to give you a wake-up call to remember that the signals go all the way.
Yeah, part of it.
Through the exercise, and you need to keep an eye on it. Obviously, he is going to chuck in the signal to go around parked cars, and you gave me a good answer to that. So, when you weigh it all up, was it safe? Did I learn anything? Yes, of course I did, didn't I? Yeah. But just don't poo-poo the signals. Whoever told you that, the word picture was signals by indicator and by arm, yeah?
Yeah.
So, you needed to kind of get a few in there. But no, I think you would have got a 4 for that. But if you'd have pushed a little bit harder with the signals, you could have pulled your grade up a bit.
Right.
Just be positive with yourself. But on the other hand, you did actually nail the signals going around the parked cars, unnecessary signals. But I did have to give you lifelines on. I wasn't really sure about when to signal, and that dragged all the way into the town centre around by the pedestrian crossings.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you could have got me into that.
Yeah, because I think I told you a couple of times, but then I never went on to asking, did I?
Yeah, a little bit of need to refresh yourself with your theory side a bit. On the brief, you gave me a little bit of misinformation about.
Oh, did I?
The zigzag lines. I had to question you about that. Right. And even when I questioned you, you didn't really quite hit the nail on the head with the answer. That was regarding the cyclists, yeah.
You mean when you said if the cyclist is waiting at the crossing, can I overtake him? Is that the bit?
Yeah. You told me on the brief that I couldn't overtake anybody within the zigzags, and then I stuck a question in at the end about could I overtake a bike, and you said yes. And then I said, could I overtake a bike if it was stopped at the crossing?
Yeah.
Yeah? And you kind of hummed and hawed about that.
Yeah.
You weren't too sure. Which, yeah, everybody gets a brain blockage now and again. Yeah? But the majority of it was controlled very well. But we will come back to this exercise again, and don't just wander off and forget about the signals. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's two subjects, and where you've got these two subjects, it's really important to remember that you have two subjects to teach. Yeah. And you can't just decide, well, I'm going to take the pedestrians because they're the most important one, and forget about the indicators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
No, I think you just about covered everything.
Right. Pause that now.